Okay, you're on.
Okay, we're chasing muscle cars again. Chris Cadwalder Classics, and this is Max, Raphael. We just bought a bunch of parts and cars from Max. I think we got 6 total. 7? See, I think I lost count. We've loaded parts all morning, but what we're doing is standing right here next to an original car number 34 ZL1 motor, and of course in the Camaro world, the holy grail of what we're chasing all the time. Max has got a great story about how the body and the engine got separated and how he originally got the motor and then ended up with the car and how they're reunited now. But Max, why don't you share your story about that?
Basically, I was at Summer Carlisle on a Sunday afternoon with my little brother, and he said to me, "Hey bro, there's a ZL1 motor over here for sale." And I went and looked at it, and it was all painted orange. It had Moroso orange valve covers. It just had ZL1 with a little marker marked on it. I kind of didn't believe it. I went and bought a book to double check, and I was scraping the paint off to see if it was aluminum. And when the guy told me the price, I actually cash advanced on my credit card. I was young and poor. I asked him if he would guarantee the motor not to be blown up. He actually started it right on an engine stand there, and I bought the motor. Never realizing it was actually out of one of the original cars. It was just a cool motor for my little Nova to go racing. A few years went by, and I was reading the same book, and I learned that they had put the VIN number down by the oil filters for the original cars. So I pulled the motor out of the corner of my garage, and I got my drop light, and sure enough, down by the oil filter was a number. And I looked in the book and I said, holy, you know what, it's out of one of the original cars. And I just held on to it for a while. I did a little chasing, thinking about finding the car, and with no luck. Eventually decided to sell all my stuff 15, 20 years ago, same as today, and put an ad in Hemmings, and a guy called me and asked me if the motor was out of one of the original cars. Lo and behold, it was the motor out of his car. That day, he offered me 10 grand and another motor for my motor, well, for his motor, and I asked him how much he wanted for the car. He didn't want to sell. To make a long story short, 4 years went by. He called me every 2 months begging me for his motor, me begging him for the car. Finally, he called me, surprised me one Friday night, said, "I'm selling the car. If you want it, come this weekend. I'm going to advertise it Monday." Well, I cashed in the CD, I rolled my pennies, I drove down there with my car trailer and bought this hunk of pieces of a ZL1. It was the original car for the motor. Since then, it's still sitting here. I haven't done any work to it other than have the motor totally redone, brand new, ready to bolt in the car. Unfortunately, I don't think I have the know-how or the finances to do the car correctly. I'm thrilled that it's going to a good owner. I know the car, I'll probably cry when I see it someday on the internet or on TV, or worse yet, when it's sold for a couple $1,000,000. But I wish Chris a lot of luck with it, and I'm glad it's going to a good home. And I want him to owe me a little ride. I wouldn't ask him to let me drive it, but maybe a ride.
Well, I tell you what, when we get it done, we'll have it Supercar Reunion. You can drive it down the drag strip. Supercar Reunion, how's that?
All right, I want to shake on that. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Great.
How's that?
That's perfect.